Shalom Yahal Ba'Hashem Yahushai Barakatham to all the brothers of Israel. Shalom Yahal Shamar Elatah Ba'Hashem Yahushai to all the sisters. This is the ISUPK, Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. I'm the Commander General Yohana. It's out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You understand? And today is the Tuesday Brotherhood class. You understand? And as the title says, we're going to be going over stop taking part of the heathen ways. You understand? And what I mean by that, what is meant by that is that there's a consequence. You always need to keep in mind that there is a consequence with everything that you do. You understand? So if you decide to take on the ways of the Most High, there's a consequence for that. You understand? If you decide to take on the ways of the heathen, there's a consequence for that. You understand? And we're going to go over some of the consequences that will, what's the word I want to use? Some of the consequences that will be acted out on you for your choice, whether it is on the right-hand side or if it's on the left-hand side. You understand? On the right-hand side being you follow after the Most High God. You do as, you are obedient to the Most High God. You understand? Like you are supposed to be. Then, of course, that flip side on the left side, you understand? You decide to choose the ways of the heathen. You understand? Those ways could be the holidays, celebrating birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving. What just passed Valentine's Day, and what's coming up is Easter's. You understand? So making that choice to take part on those heathens' customs, there's a consequence for doing so. You understand? We're going to go over that. Of course, we are continuing from where we left off from last week. You understand? Because this all does go hand in hand with each other. Before we actually get started, Slovakia, I've already started myself, but I just, like we say every class, man, make sure you like and share the class. You understand? It's all of our jobs to make sure that this truth gets spread out to the four corners of the earth. You understand? Like we discussed, it was the last Thursday or the Thursday before with Officer Shabal, that our classes are reaching out to the UK, matter of fact, to Ukraine and Russia. You understand? We've got viewers all over South America, all the islands, man, everywhere. Hell, we got subscribers from Africa as well. You understand? Because one thing that you got to understand is that our people are scattered amongst all the other nations. You understand? We're not African, but we do have some of our people scattered in Africa. Just like we have our people are in China, are in Japan, they're in Korea. You understand? Whether they're there as a citizen or what have you, for whatever reason that they are there, it still goes with what the Lord said, that he was going to scatter his people to the four corners of the earth. You understand? And that was, of course, able to be done first and foremost because the Lord willed it. The Lord wanted that to be done. You understand? But y'all have been taking part in liking and sharing these videos so that it does reach out to the four corners. You understand? Y'all might have somebody that's in the military that's stationed out in South Korea, that's stationed out in Italy or something like that. And because they are on your friends' Facebook or whatever, your Facebook friends, you understand? Now we got subscribers in Italy, and it's going to spread from that person. You understand? Like that's how this works. This is, this work, this truth is extremely important. You understand? Y'all got to think the condition that you were in, that even brought you to the truth in the first place. You understand? Whether you're still in that condition or not, what you are currently doing that you need to stop, or for those of y'all that have shed yourself, and Barakatah Yahweh Shah, for those of y'all that have shed yourselves of those worldly things, but think about what you were doing before the truth. You understand those wicked ways that you are partaking in when you were in the world. You understand? Where you're doing drugs, you're being a whore, you're on that stripper pole, you're putting your own sisters on the stripper pole, you're selling drugs, you're doing what have you. You understand? Those are all custom, mind you, those are all customs of the heathen. You understand? Nowhere in this Bible does it tell so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you understand, the Israelites, to whore out your sons and daughters. You understand? To whore out your daughters, or to sell drugs to your own. You understand? In fact, it speaks against those things. It even tells us not to do it to the other nations. You understand? We're supposed to be such an example that the other nations will look at us and go, you know what? This is a wise and a mighty people. Instead of continuing to do my way, I'm going to follow after them. You understand? So that's when all that sex trafficking ends. That's when all, the people that are eating food that they have no business eating, like bats. No longer are we going to get diseases from eating an animal, because the other nations will know not to eat those animals because we don't do it. You understand? But first and foremost, we need to come out of the condition that we are in, which requires us to put, for all of us to gather up all of our people, black, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, teach them who they are, and then, of course, build them up from there by teaching them who they are according to the scriptures and what the Most High God actually said to do and not to do. You understand? Actually, I don't remember where I was supposed to start for this week, but ain't no thing. We're gonna start at what is it? Amos, the book of Amos. Is it 10:3? I think it is. Give me 1 second, Baba Kasha Salaki. Oh, 10th chapter. I'm over here tripping. Let me see. Give me 1 second, Baba Kasha. There's something I wanted to start off with. Salaki. That wasn't that long. How's it going? Oh, that's why. It's in Jeremiah. We're going to go to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 2. Salaki. Over here tripping. Also, if there's any questions that anybody has online, feel free to post them. I will answer your questions to the best of my ability. You understand? I'll answer them to the best of my ability scripturally. If I am unable to do it, if I am unable to answer your question scripturally myself, then I will let you know that I am unable to answer it myself, but I will get the answer from a mightier man than myself that does have the answer. You understand? We are not the Christian church. We do not, check and jive and do all that singing and dancing and hollering and you understand, just to get you to, think and believe that I know what I'm talking about. But in reality, that's something that I need to take the time. I need to set some time to the side to study on, so I can be more well-rounded on that, for that question. You understand? Whereas, that's exactly what them. That's exactly what those Christian pastors are doing. You understand? They tell you that they know, pray on it. It's like, okay, but I asked you, you're supposed to be my leader in, of this church. So you're supposed to know how to answer these questions. You understand? Well, as your leader, if you ask me a question, I'm unable to answer it myself, I will let you know, but I will get you the answer. I'll make sure I write it down. You understand? So I can give you the answer to the next class. All right. So we're going to read the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10 and verse 2. You understand? So, like I said, we're going to go in talking about, us not going, following the ways of the heathen. And right here, we're going to see what the Most High God says about learning the ways of the heathen. You understand? Book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 2. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen. Again, it says, thus saith the Lord. The Most High said this. You understand? The Most High is telling you, learn not the way of the heathen. So first of all, I want y'all to all, understand this, that obviously if the Bible is talking about a way of the heathen and then the way of righteousness, that's two different ways, right? Which basically, boils down to, you've got God's chosen people according to the Bible, and then you've got the heathens that are not God's chosen people. Now, you might be thinking, and what do you mean by that, Officer Rock? Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you. What I mean by that is this Bible is not for everyone. You understand? It would make no sense if this Bible was for everyone, but then there's a heathen, a nation of heathens. You understand? It would make no sense. All right? Read it on. Matter of fact, I'm going to read it again from the top. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. You understand? So don't follow them. They're going to be looking at the stars and be like, oh my God, there's an eclipse, and there's a solar eclipse and lunar eclipse, and there's this, there's that. You understand? Oh, I remember growing up, I was taught that that shooting stars was a fallen angel. Every time you saw a shooting star, that was basically a fallen angel. And guess who taught me that? A heathen. You understand? My mother's side is heathen, so they would tell me that. And that's not the way I am to learn from in the first place as a so-called Negro. You understand? I'm supposed to be learning, of course, from the Bible, but I shouldn't be even, at that time, I shouldn't be thinking that, oh, my dad is black. If I was learning correctly at that time, I would be thinking, oh, my dad is an Israelite, and that's why I'm an Israelite. You understand? Hey, Shalami, how about you? Officer Lahab, it's good to see you, sir. Mighty man right there. Great man in this truth right there. You understand? But the heathen is caught up in those things. And mind you, something that happens when you caught up in what they are doing, man, you get caught up in what they get into. So while they're sitting there staring at the stars, staring at, paying attention to pointless things that have absolutely no meaning, that they give meaning to, that mankind is giving meaning to, you actually missing the prophecies that are going on in this Bible. You understand? Take, for example, y'all might be, I don't know, there might be a meteor shower that's been going on this entire thing, this entire Russia invasion on Ukraine. And you ain't paying attention to the point, or not the point, but what that invasion really is according to the Bible, because you too busy praying for Ukraine and looking at the stars. You understand? How does that go? I can't remember how it goes. Starlight, star bright, first star I see tonight. Wish I may, wish I might, have my wish I wish tonight. You sitting there doing that, thinking, I hope, my wish is to, pray for Ukraine, that, Ukraine comes out of this and this, that, and the other. Man, you know what? The Bible says that this is the beginning of World War III. You understand? This is the beginning stages of when Christ returns to slaughter all these other heathens. You understand? So now think about what I said before. If you getting caught up in what they're doing in their ways, when Christ returns and he's here to bring a sword, he's here to to soak the streets with blood. You understand? To fill the streets with blood. You understand? That's going to include your blood if you can't put that weed down. You understand? If you can't stop being a whore. You understand? You can't, you refuse to stop being a homosexual. You understand? When you partaking in all of these atrocities, these abominations, these things that go against the Most High God, you're going to be a partaker in her, her being Babylon, being America. You're going to be a partaker in her judgment. You understand? You're going to get the same exact judgment that America gets, that the entire world gets. You understand? You're going to be part of them people of the masses that have their eyes burned into their sockets. Like if you watch that movie, I think it's the second one, the second or the third Terminator. You understand? When a chick, she having the visions of Judgment Day and this, that, and the other, and she's sitting there holding on to the playground gate, and that, that wave from that, thermonuclear fire come through and just burnt her to a crisp in an instant. That's gonna be you getting caught in the midst of your wickedness at that. You might be sitting there on that couch, just rolled you a blunt, putting that fire to the blunt, and you know what? The thermonuclear fire is gonna wipe you and that blunt all the way through to a crisp. You understand? All because you too damn caught up in doing what you want to do, which is what the heathens do, the customs of the heathen, right? Let me see. From there, we might be going to Deuteronomy 7 and 9. From there, there we go. So we're gonna drop that in Jeremiah 10 and 3, right? That's what we just read. For those of y'all that's just now tuning in, you understand? We're gonna drop that and we're gonna pick up at the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 9. All right. So now, mind you, there's a bad consequence, or there's consequences when you do the wrong thing, and there's consequences when you're doing the right thing. You understand? And the Most High God lets you know that is not a mystery. You understand? Everybody knows that. Okay, let me retract that word, knows. Everybody thinks, right, that a sinner goes to hell after they die, right? When we know in the UPK, we know in the truth that heaven and hell are both one place that coexist in one realm, in one place, which is here on earth. You understand? It's not under the earth. Heaven is not above the sky. You understand? Heaven and hell are both here simultaneously on earth. You understand? And there is a nation of people that are in the condition of hell right now, and the other nations are in the condition of heaven. Just look at who can do whatever the hell they want. Start whatever type of business with damn near no issues. You understand? Get a job with damn near no issues. You understand? Who can go and fight a war, and when they return, there's a nation of people who get murdered by the people that they just fought for. And then even though, and mind you, they're the ones who won the war, and then the ones that was just basically just there. You understand? They come back from the war and they're treated like war heroes, like it should be, right? But that credit goes to the ones that are being murdered. You understand? If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up the Red Summer. You understand? Right after World War I, just a quick little side note with that, because I know I side note a lot, Salakia, but quick little side note with that, I believe it is the Red Summer, the summer of 1917, 1917, I believe. But after that World War I, so-called Negroes came back on that bus, and when they were getting off the bus after just fighting that war, World War I, what did white America do? Man, started slaughtering them. I believe the murder count was somewhere at least a minimum of 300 people. It's like, man, I just went to war for your freedom, for your rights, did all this for you. And the way that you welcome me home is with a noose to my neck, a bat to my face, a bullet to my body. I just dodged all these bullets and put all that lead in them just to come home to the people I was protecting to be killed. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm trying to mask my anger and frustration with laughter because that pisses me the hell off. But you know what? What is to be learned from that? What is to be taken out from that is the fact that we are not to be aligning ourselves with the other nations. We are not to be allies with the other nations. And in fact, we're going to pull that as well. We're going to pull that one as well. So like it, I believe is it in Exodus? Keep on telling me Proverbs, and that's not the one. So like it. This one should work. Give me 1 second, Bubba Kashas. I like it. Just bear with me while I pull this one. Man, where is that doggone verse? Because I know Deuteronomy was a 7:3. Shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them. Oh, see, same chapter. I'm over here tripping. Salakia. Over here trying to look it up when it's already right in front of me. And I knew it was in Deuteronomy. Salakia. We're going to read this Deuteronomy. Before we read 7 and 9, we're going to read this 7 and 2. All right. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and 2. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them. Now, this is talking about the other nations. When the Most High God delivers the other nations before Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? So thou shalt smite them, and you should kill them and utterly destroy them, right? Utterly just, man, massacre. You understand? Because they being brought to us for the slaughter. You understand? Nor, it's like, and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Now, a covenant is, let's actually get let's get the actual definition of what covenant is. You understand? That way, for those of y'all that aren't sure, we can make you sure. You'll then know. So a covenant, the noun is an agreement. It's like the covenant that we made with the Most High God is the agreement. You understand? The Most High God said, listen, you do this, I'm going to give you this. Really don't have much of an agreement or a choice, because the Most High chose us, but nonetheless, it is an agreement. You understand? The verb for covenant, agree by lease, deed, or other legal contract. Now, when you make a legal contract with somebody, you understand, there's consequences if you do not follow through with your end of the contract or the covenant. You understand? Now, mind you, that is basically that is the subject of what we're talking about tonight. You understand? Is the consequences of you not holding up your end of the contract or the covenant, right? So right here, the Most High told us, you understand? Make no covenant with them. And who is them? The other nations, the Hamites or the so-called Africans. You understand? The Russians or the Edomites as a whole, the Moabites are the so-called Chinese, the Ammonites, the so-called Japanese, the Elamites, you understand? The so-called East Indians, or the Ishmaelites, the so-called Arab man. We are not to make any type of covenant. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are not to make any type of covenant with them. And you know what? When you look at what happened to the so-called Native Americans, our Gadite brothers and sisters, what happened to them when they signed over 300 peace treaties, which a peace treaty is a legal contract. It is a covenant. What happened to them when they signed those legal documents with the so-called white man? Man, they got destroyed for it. You understand? They got slaughtered and murdered and raped and pillaged. You understand? A thief and a liar, the devil that the Bible speaks of, took everything from them. You understand? And the crazy part is the Gadites, the so-called Native American brothers and sisters, they kept their end of the bargain. They kept their end of the legal document. You understand? It was the so-called white man who did it. You don't believe me? Look it up. We all got Google machines in our freaking pockets and hands. You understand? Hell, you ain't watching this unless you got the interweb. So you might as well, take the time, open a new tab, what have you, and look these things up for yourself. You understand? Nor show mercy unto them. Don't show mercy to these people. At the time that I give them to you, I deliver them to you to be utterly destroyed. Man, don't give them no mercy. Kill them all. You understand? And it gives you the specifics of who exactly it's talking about in verse 1. But this still pertains to all of the nations, right? All of the nations. Salakia. We are not to make a covenant with them. And each time that we do, each time that you vote, you're making a covenant with them. Each time that you go to war for them, you're making a covenant with them. You understand? You are going against the law of the Most High God because you are putting their law above the Most High God. You understand that? I pray that you do. All right. Now we're going to go to verse 9 like I said we would, because this is the flip side, right? I know I kind of, was bashing y'all a little bit, but this is the flip side. Now we're going to see what the Lord says when you do follow what he says to do, right? The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments, to 1,000 generations. Now we got to break that down. I know I just read through that whole verse. Some of y'all might be, that sounds good, but do you actually understand it? That's the point of these classes is for us to make sure that you do understand. You understand? And with that being said as well, make sure that y'all, if y'all got any questions, man, type it up in the chat. You understand? Put your questions up in the chat, whatever it may be, whether it's on topic or even off topic. You understand? We're going to read that from the top. Know therefore. So it's, hey, Moses is saying, know this, therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God. You understand? Which God in the Hebrew, it just translates, he is power. You understand? That's what God actually means. God is not a name. You understand? I remember growing up as a kid, mind you, my mother's side, they Mormon and whatnot, so they just all types of messed up, especially with dealing with me and then my father being a so-called black man, that was just a mess as a whole. You understand? But I remember I'd be like, oh my God. Oh, don't say God. Don't use the Lord's name in vain. That's not his name. You understand? God is not a name. You understand? It just means power. You understand? God is a power, right? That's why you'll hear us in the ISUPK when we talking about the Most High, we say the Most High, or we'll say the Most High power. You understand? Because there is nothing above him or equal to him. You understand? That's why he is the Most High, right? Know therefore that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, man. He's faithful. You understand? Which keepeth covenant and mercy, and he keeps his covenant, he keeps his end of the legal document. You understand? He keeps his end of the promise, his end of the agreement. You understand? Which keepeth covenant and mercy. And of course, he has mercy. But mind you, this is something that everybody needs to pay attention. Like zoom in with your glasses, zoom in on your phone, what have you, really listen to what I'm about to say right here. And mind you, I'm just a vessel of the Lord right now. You understand? I'm just speaking his words. You understand? I'm just speaking what he said. You understand? Moses wrote this, but this is the Most High God's words. You understand? Of who he is, right? Which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keep his commandments. So he keeps his covenant or agreement, his end of the deal, and has mercy. You understand? With Salaki, I did lose my place. Salaki, with them that love him and keep his commandments. What's going on, sis? Can I get a big cup for this? Bubble shot? Water. You understand? With those that love him and keep his commandments. Now, why is it that I keep on repeating that? You may ask. Well, the reason being is think about what whether you are a Christian, what you used to think with that's exactly the one I wanted to. The water says, think about, for those of y'all that have never even read the Bible, just put right here, Baba Gashah, the water. Think of it, think about, you got something to pop that? Just one of them, Baba Gashah. Just think about, for those of y'all that haven't even read the Bible, you might even be an atheist, right? You're still a Christian. And I'm going to tell you how and why, right? Your perception of the Bible, your understanding of the Bible, because everybody, even including atheists, have an opinion of the Bible. They don't believe in the Bible because, oh, God did this, that, and the other. Before I found the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, I call myself agnostic. And even as someone who would identify as agnosticism, which for those of y'all that may not know, just on this side. For those of y'all that don't know what that is, that just basically means I didn't believe in a specific story. I just recognized the fact that I knew that there was a higher power. I just didn't I couldn't buy into Christianity, even though that basically I was a Christian, because I didn't like Christianity because of that whole concept, or one of the many reasons was, how are you going to sit there and say that you love me unconditionally, but if you break my rule, I'm gonna burn you for all of eternity? Nah, it's the water, sis. The water. You understand? That's a like that don't make no sense to me. That made absolutely no sense to me. But mind you, what do we read just right here? Which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him and keeps his commandments. Which means that the Most High God's only concern with even his chosen seed, is the ones that actually love him and keep his commandments. And in a second, we're gonna go over how do you know if you love him? How do you prove that you love him? It's the same way that you prove that you love your wife or wives or your children. The same way that you prove that you love anybody. You understand? It is not with the tongue. It is not by saying it. Anybody can say, "Oh, you know, I love God. I love the Most High God. I love Jesus. I am a follower of Jesus." Doesn't the Christian pastor say that? Isn't that literally what he does? And that's the example he sets. But mind you, he's sleeping with your wife, possibly even molesting your son. This is the leader of those congregations, mind you, of those churches, right? Mind you, you know, the leader of the synagogue of Satan. You understand that? It is a synagogue of Satan because he's doing satanic shit. So like he is doing things that is abominable. And crazy part is everybody in that Christian church is. All of them are doing some abominable crap. But you think that your grandma, just because she's 70, 80 years old, that she ain't out there, you know, still acting wild like she was doing when she was 16, when she was 14 and she had, you know, your mama? Come on now. She's still doing it now. She's still doing it while she 70, 80 years old. In fact, she's doing it for the pastor. And she's doing it for that choir. The ones that will actually get down with a woman, mind you. You understand? Because the Christian church is nothing but a whorehouse in the first place. None of them do anything to show that they love the Most High God. You understand? And this is how you know. You understand? We're going to drop that, go to the book of 1 John. And I believe it's chapter, we're going to go to 5 and 3. 1 John, chapter 5, and verse 3. That one, Peter. Okay. Makes sense. All right. Now, this is what your Christian pastor is not doing. This is what he is not teaching. This is not what the Christianity as a whole is teaching, or it's not even known in Christianity for the most part, is basically this verse, right? Let's go ahead and read it. The book of 1 John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of God. Let me say it one more time, just to, kind of prep y'all up for an understanding of what we're about to read. The understanding I'm about to give y'all. For this is the love of God. So what I'm about to continue reading is how you show the Most High God that you love him. You understand? That we keep his commandments. Oh, what? Let me read it one more time. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. They don't say nothing about hobbity, hoobity, wabbity, whatever, or, doing all that fake passing out bullshit, or that, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like the drummer in the damn Christian church, he sound like a 3-year-old learning how to freaking, play the drums. Because you just got people, and then he just, that's all you hear. Just damn near sounds worse than that goddamn rock music. You understand? At least you can hear the double bass with, in metal and heavy metal and stuff. You can at least hear the bass on the freaking, on their drum set. All you hear is that goddamn syllable. How many syllables are they on the drum set? 2, 3 of them. That's all you hear, just clashing. It's just noise. It's just goddamn noise. You understand? That's not saying that you love God. You understand? What the scripture says, what it can be proven with scripture says, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And this is the crazy part about it, right? Read it on. And his commandments are not grievous. They're not grievous. You know how when you was a kid growing up, your mama wake you up. Oh, come on, early in the morning, it's time to go to church. Get your ass up, put your clothes on, let's go. You know, iron your clothes. Let's go, let's go, let's go. You better not make me late. Not for my pastor. You understand? When your mom was on that, and just how grievous it was for you to go do that, man, serving the Lord, showing love for the Most High God is not supposed to be grievous. It's not grievous, actually. It's not. If I may speak for myself, I love serving the Lord. And in fact, man, like it says, it's not grievous. My life has become a whole lot better since I began serving the Lord. Does it still come with the challenges and, you know, the temptations and whatnot? Of course. Life is about war. You understand? And especially as a man, I welcome any challenge that comes my way. You understand? But nonetheless, knowing, getting that, working towards that goal of when the Most High sends Christ, his son, back to earth, and the possibility that all that work that I put in, everything that I do, I have that possibility of the Most High receiving me and saying, you know, good job, my faithful servant. You have been a faithful servant to me. Man, just having that on my mind keeps me, you know, keeps on pushing. Then on top of the fact, when you serving the Lord, you got to think all you're doing is being a brother. Not all you're doing, but a big part of what you're doing is being there for your brother and sister, being there for your people. You understand? Your people that don't even know what it's like to have somebody for them, somebody actually being real. You understand? Man, for any of y'all that actually got a heart, that actually got a soul, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That feeling right there to be able to help those in need. Man, that's a beautiful feeling right there. And I love that. And I know that the Most High God, that's what he wants. You understand? He wants us to be there for our brothers and sisters. He wants us to want that. You understand? And of course, to help somebody, man, if I got an abundance of clothes or abundance of food or abundance of whatever, why should that be grievous for me to give that to the next? Someone that needs that excess more than I do. You understand? I pray that y'all do. I pray that y'all understand that. Because you know what? For those of y'all, you know, for those Christians, a few minutes ago, you might have known the scripture, 1 John 5:3, but you didn't understand it. You probably didn't even know what a goddamn commandment. You probably just thought there's only 10 commandments. The 10 commandments. Well, I challenge you to show me in the Bible where it says, these are the 10 commandments. These are the 10 rules for you to follow. That's it. Don't break these rules. Show me that. Hey, or at least along them lines. Show me that in the Bible. It don't say that. You understand? It goes through what the commandments are. And those are a part of our many commandments that we have. But we do not have just the 10 commandments. Man, come on, dude. It's a lot. Come on. Because you got to think. There's a commandment with usury. You understand? For those of y'all that ain't sure what usury is, it's basically where you add interest. When somebody borrows money from you, you put interest on it for however long it takes them to pay you back. You know you're not to do that. It is against the Lord's will for you to put usury on your brother and sister. You are not to do that. It's unbrotherly. If I give you $300, man, I should only get $300 back. Why should Why should it be more? Obviously, you needed that $300. So just so that you can keep your head above water, you understand? And it might take you a little bit of time to actually get yourself on your feet to the point where I can get, you can give me the money back. And mind you as well, I didn't have the $300 in the first place to just, okay, yeah, no, go ahead. You would have never gotten it from me in the first doggone place. Think about that. Right? So, and mind you, it would actually be unbrotherly of yourself to put yourself into a bind trying to help someone else. But mind you as well, I will say that is depending on the situation, of course. But something like that, I'll leave that part on, man. You get some counsel on that before you try to help a brother out if it's gonna put you into a bind. But nonetheless, man, you shouldn't do that. Right? You shouldn't. And what I mean by do that is put usury on it. I'm letting you borrow $300. I'm expecting $300. Right? It's like when you was a kid and you used to let your friend play, borrow a video game or borrow a toy or this, that, and the other. You didn't say, oh yeah, you borrowed a toy, but if I don't have it back by next week, then you owe me another toy. You better give me my toy and then one of your toys. If you missed the due date. What? That's ridiculous. You understand? But you know what the crazy thing is? You put usury on these doggone heathens, though, on these other nations. You just not to do that to your own, right? That is a commandment. You can find the commandments in the book of Leviticus, right? Which it's the law. Leviticus is the law. And then, of course, there's commandments in Deuteronomy as well. And the crazy thing is, didn't Christ give us a new commandment? That we love our brother as we love ourselves? So even after Christ got on the scene, that at least makes 11. It's not 10 commandments. You understand? Like, I hope y'all start to understand and see just how goofy these doggone Christians are. Right? It's like going to a white boy and saying, "Hey, man, tell me about the authentic culture of the so-called Mexicans. Tell me about their history. Tell me about what it's like to live as a Mexican." Man, boy, Cracker Joe don't know what to say. Hold on. He's gonna first of all, he's gonna try to find the first English speaking so-called Mexican he can find. Ask him that same question. Then he's gonna give you his answer, but whitewashed like hell. Because mind you, the brother might tell him some terrible things that the so-called white man have brought on his people. You know what Cracker Joe gonna do? He's gonna scrub that out. Don't believe me? Open a history book. Matter of fact, you don't believe me? Make sure you read your Bible. Keep coming to these classes. Get the full truth in these classes. Because that's literally what Christianity is today, and Catholicism. That's literally what that is. We let those devils put their hands on our history, our culture, our way of life. And now you've got Catholicism and Christianity with just the most absurd nonsense, where you basically have to forgive, pastor, pope, priest, whatever, bishop, whatever the hell they want to call themselves in the church. When he sleeps with your wife, when he takes your little daughter, molest your little daughter, or molest your little son, their doctrine, their white Jesus, their God says that you got to forgive him, because that's what white Jesus would do. To hell with that. To hell with that. You understand? We're gonna drop that. 1 John 5:3. We're gonna go to the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. You understand? This is the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. So, first of all, so this is the crazy part, right? I'm about to blow y'all minds. I'm about to, your little Christian minds. Hey, Lord in Christ, Sister Veronica, it's good to see you in the class. What we just read in 1 John 5:3, right, was what? That if you love the Most High, you'll keep his commandments. You'll do his commandments. You'll keep his commandments, right? Where it just said right here, 1 John 3:4, whosoever committed sin transgresseth the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. That so meaning you broke the law. The law says not to be a homosexual. The law says not to smoke weed, not to sell weed, not to grow weed. They don't say not to grow weed, but it does say not to smoke it, right? You transgressed the law. You broke the law. Now, when you read 1 John 5:3, what did you just say? What did you just say through your actions? Because if I'm keeping the law, that says that I love the Most High God. What did you just say by transgressing the law? Because you wanted to be a whore, or you wanted to you wanted to sell drugs, you wanted to be a thief, right? What did you just say? That you hate the Most High God. You understand? It can't be one. You can't have both. You can't be a sinner and love God and don't. It's not in here. Just like how it says how it's not in here where God says that he hates the sin. Yeah, hates the sin but loves the sinner. It's not in there. It's not. Because mind you, what did we just read in the book of Deuteronomy 7:9? That the Most High God has mercy and keeps his commandments with those that love him and keeps his laws and keeps his commandments. Paraphrasing, of course. But so who's going to get mercy? Who's going to get the mercy from the Most High God? A sinner? What did it just say? That mercy is reserved for those that keep the commandments. It's reserved for them first. Now, of course, Scripture does say, the Most High God did say that the Lord will have mercy on those he will have mercy on. So there'll be people, man, they'll be even questioning themselves. I was terrible. How the hell did I live? Why am I still alive? Why was I preserved? Well, let's also keep in mind, though, someone's got to be able to rebuild the kingdom, build our kingdom. You understand? Someone does have to build a kingdom because, like I said, heaven and hell is here on earth. There will always be somebody pretty much in hell, in the condition of hell. Man, you a slave, yeah. Free labor, man. I bet that's hell. And my goal is to be in heaven. You understand? In a seat of power. You understand? Was that it? Yeah. Yeah, that's it on there. Okay. So we're going to drop that. We're going to go to the book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 4. Let's see, where's that at? So, I'm so get familiar with this, my new sword. It's like not used to, it's like got these tabs and whatnot. And I canceled my subscription to Hooked on Phonics. So it's like I have a hard time reading the tabs. And so just bear with me. I am learning how to use it, flip through it. All right. So the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 4. That the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us, who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. You understand? Let me see if I want to read from the top. There is the. Okay, so that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us. Just like how Christ came to fulfill the law, and the law was fulfilled within him, right? We all need to do the same. We're supposed to follow after Christ, walk in his footsteps, right? Who walk not after the flesh, but after the Spirit. So that's letting you know right there that you're not going to be able to walk after Christ, be in righteousness if you're walking after your flesh. If you're only serving the needs and the wants and the desires of your flesh. You understand? Because quite frankly, you can't say that you love life, but you're smoking cigarettes or even smoking weed. You putting smoke into your lungs. What does smoke do? When is there a time that smoke is good for your lungs? That's good for your throat? Riddle me that. And I know there's, them potheads and whatnot. Oh yeah, no, weed is, it fights against cancer and this, good for my glaucoma. Man, when is smoke ever good for your lungs? Now, this is not me saying that we are not to touch marijuana. Marijuana has its purpose. You understand? But y'all use marijuana like y'all use the way that potheads use marijuana goes against the purpose that the Most High have put marijuana on the earth in the first place, right? Because take for example, you ain't on some, hey man, after we get off work, let's go get a couple bottles of NyQuil. Let's go get a couple bottles, 300 milligrams of ibuprofen. No, because you only use ibuprofen when you got a headache. You're only going to use that NyQuil when you got a cold or a flu and you need help going to sleep. Well, quite frankly, that's what marijuana is supposed to be used for as well. It's studies say that it's good for what is the word? Epileptic people with epilepsy, the seizures, and they get like shaky and whatnot. They put a drop of that THC just under their tongue, and all the shaking and whatnot, it stops. But of course, you only taking as much medication that is required to what's the word I want to use? As much of the medication that is required to, you will say, temporarily cure the ailment, right? And you're also not smoking it. You're not taking it in a way that's going to kill you in the first place, right? Because smoke, it destroys your lungs. None of what the Most High God tells you to do is going to destroy your body. That's part of the reason why this is called the Book of Life. Because when you follow this book, you get life. You keep your life. Because now you're not doing things that's going to kill you. Eating pork, you might think it's delicious and this, that, and the other. So lucky. Yeah, see, man, just talking like that is kind of all that almost just came up. So lucky. But, in reality, man, that pork is going to give you high blood pressure. Hell, you're going to have heart disease. You're going to end up with some doggone parasites. You technically really, because you can't kill all of them parasites that are inside, that pork. You understand? You can't kill all of it. There is no safe way to actually cook pork. There's no safe way. But y'all convince yourselves otherwise because y'all are so adamant on serving your flesh, going after the needs and the wants of your flesh. right? But when you go after the spirit, man, you realize that in reality, you don't even need all the things that your body be sitting there craving, whether it's sex, food, water. You understand? I mean, you don't need food or water at the level that you be getting. Like it's as much food that I be getting, I know I don't need all that. But I sure as hell am eating it. So lucky. It's so lucky. But you know what I'm saying? But when you are after the needs of the spirit, man, the need of my spirit is to go after the orders of what the Most High God had commanded me to do, to follow out his commandments, to follow out his orders. You understand? Because that, I mean, there is no greater fulfillment than knowing that you doing, what is asked, what you doing what the Most High God has ordered you to do. Like think about it when you were a kid and your parents, they told you to do something and you got it done. No, go clean your room. You go clean your room. They go to check. Okay, good job. And that's all they are. They might not even say anything. I slick like that. I didn't want them to say anything. Even as a kid, like, yeah, it still felt good. It was an extra little boost when they said, oh, good job. You did a great job. This is how I want you to do it. Woo. Yeah, it felt good. But even when they didn't say anything, I still got the same satisfaction. I still got the same, I don't want to necessarily say pleasure, but, it made, I still felt good. It made me feel good about myself that I carried out an order that my parents put me out to do, and I accomplished it. I accomplished it to their standard, to how they wanted it. Man, you think it's going to be any different when you're doing it for the Lord? It is, because it's going to be a greater feeling, because it's something, your parents ain't greater than the Most High. You understand? You serving something much greater than them. So that feeling of, man, I did what the Lord asked of me, and man, Most High Christ. Like, that's it, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all. All right. We'll go ahead and drop that. Go to the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24. Book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24. You understand? And mind y'all, keep in mind with what we started off with in the very beginning, as we go through all of these scriptures, where I'm talking about one side. You understand? Whether it's specifically, you being on the left hand side and you just being a heathen, you're gonna get the consequences of a heathen. Or I'm talking about if you on the right hand side, because you walking after the Most High God, right? Keep that in mind with all these verses that that we bring out tonight. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 24. No man, so like it, and this is written in red, which means Jesus Christ in the English, or Yahweh Shai Mashiach in the Hebrew, is speaking, our King. You understand? No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. You understand? So, Most High Christ says, good to see you in the class, Janelle. You understand? So, where was I at? Like what I've been saying before, you can't sit here and love them, say that you love the Most High, but yet, you're out there, partaking in interracial marriages. You understand? Thinking that you can, you are the same people as the so-called Africans or the so-called white man or the so-called Asian man, that we're all one people. We all came from Africa. No, that is not the case. That is not what God said. That is not what is written in here, first of all, right? That is the customs of who? That is the customs of Babylon. That's what Babylon did. And that is what America is doing today. You understand? Where, America, Salakia, Well, America is just one big, huge melting pot today. You understand? Where all the nations can come together and we can, how does the Pledge of Allegiance go? Just that one part, one nation under God that's indivisible. Well, I mean, who composes that one nation? Because it's not, you don't have doggone so-called Negroes in the Chinese army. You don't have Americans in the Russian army. You understand? That's just their nation. But what composes the American military? Man, if you just so much want a doggone visa, green card, you want to be a freaking civilian, man, they'll set it up so you can come and serve. Go right on ahead and volunteer. You know, after all the background checks, this, that, and the other, okay, yeah, come right in. But you ain't doing that. You ain't doing that for the other countries. You understand? And mind you, you know, because you still got Asians, you got the Hawaiians, you got, you know, of course, so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know, I served with a so-called African dude, and the crazy thing is, that dude, that Hamite, he knew that we was different people. He knew that so-called Negroes and Africans are different people. You understand? You can't serve two guys or two masters. You understand? You have to pick one or the other. You have to pick between the Most High God or, you know, wanting to serve in that white man's military. And if I may, you know, just as a personal story, you know, I've been doing this all night, so I like here, but bear with me. You know, when I learned about the truth, I was in my second year of my contract when I was in the East House military. You understand? I finished out that contract and I made my decision. You know, once that contract was done, I made my decision, man. This is who I'm gonna serve. This is what I'm gonna do. And the crazy thing is that at first when I got out, it was slick to struggle. Like I said before, man, just because you come into the truth and you decide to serve the Most High God, that does not mean that everything is going to be all kumbaya and raisies and daisies and rainbows. So like you understand? Like, it's not going to be all, you know, sunny days and just like it's being in love for the first time all over again. Like, it's none of that. Man, again, life is war, and man, it's lucky. But I want to say like the first couple of years, just because of a lot of the issues that was going on and whatnot, you know, first couple of years that I was chasing down the truth, like it was a struggle. It was a straight struggle, you know, financially, with my love life, just the whole shebang. But then over time, you know, it's lucky, but I proved myself. You understand? Now I got my footing. I got my foundation in this truth where now it's no question. You understand? Who I serve and what I'm about. No longer do I have those issues, like for instance with my father and his wife and my nana, my dad's mother, where, you know, Christmas comes around, they still try to buy my child, you know, a Christmas gift or a birthday gift. Like, there is no argument anymore. They just know. You know what I'm saying? It seems like you have more trials, but gotta keep pushing. No, that's exactly it, sis. Matter of fact, let's pull that scripture real quick, because I'm gonna show you. Prepare thyself for temptation. You understand? Oh, I'm tripping. I think the Russians are already attacking our interweb. My phone's tripping. 5G is not as efficient as they made it out to be. All right, so this is the book of Ecclesiasticus out of the Apocrypha, chapter 2, verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, man, let them know. You decide to come serve the Lord, right? Prepare thy soul for temptation. So, you exactly right, sis. Like I said, once you come to serve the Most High, don't think it's gonna be easy breezy, lemon squeezy. Like, life is just gonna be a smooth coast. Nah, man, you still gonna have to battle. You still gonna have temptation. It's not. It ain't all that. But the good thing is, the bright side to that is, that might sound a little bit intimidating, but the bright side about that is as you stay grounded in the truth and you keep on learning and you keep on growing in the truth, man, when those temptations come your way, they become easier and easier to say no, or to not transgress the law. And in fact, it also becomes even easier for you to call for counsel as well. Hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ, sir, Salakia. You understand? I got this going on. Woo. I don't know what to do. Or this is what I really want to do. I know I shouldn't. Like, man, Salakia, sir, can you come scoop me up? I'm really going through it. I really need the brotherhood right now. You know what I'm saying? What have you? Those things become a whole lot more natural for you because of what? You are more invested in taking care of your spirit than you are of your flesh. You are more invested in your spirit than your flesh. You're not worried about what your fleshly wants, desires, and needs. You're not worried about that. You worried about what is best for your spirit. So, because you have that grounding and foundation instilled in you, now, you know what I'm saying? You taking the time. What's the word I want to use? You're more. Basically, what I want to say is, you're gonna protect that. You're more apt to protect that and preserve what your spirit is now, since you shed yourself, since you got rid of all that, that nonsense out your life, and you don't want to get back into the habit of your flesh leading your life. You understand? Again, let's read that from the top. No man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. So that lets you know, man, either you're going to serve the Most High God, or you're going to do the ways of the heathen. You're going to be a whore. You're going to be a whoremonger. You're going to be a drug dealer or a drug addict. Or you're going to just serve the Most High God. You see, it's crazy because there's so many different things on the left-hand side that you could be. Terrible labels. Right? Terrible labels on the left-hand side when you're not serving the Lord. But on the right-hand side, what are they going to say? That, oh, you a cultist? You in a cult? I mean, I guess I'll be in a cult. I mean, at the end of the day, at least I'm not in a cult where they circumcise your 8-day-old son, and then, that rabbi puts his mouth on your son's penis. That sounds a whole lot more cultist to me, considering the fact that they also believe that blood, that innocent blood, brings the rabbi closer to God. But we're a cult because we stopped doing drugs and we get our brothers and sisters off drugs. I mean, hey, you want to call me a cultist? Man, and that's why make sure y'all check them out too. I believe it's UPK Florida Wear. Make sure you check them out. Get yourself that doggone cult leader that cult leader shirt or hoodie. I got the hoodie, man. I love that doggone thing. Till my son throw up on it. He loved ruining my shirts, man. My UPK shirts. Let me tell you. But that's all right though. I'm gonna get him right. We'll get him right. You understand? You can only serve one side. You want to serve the one side where they gotta damn near make up labels to try to offend you. Oh, what do they say? I'm more righteous than now or whatever. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, you said it. I mean, I know I'm more righteous than you because I know that I serve the Most High God. So but you said it. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't see how that's supposed to offend me. As long as you know that I'm more righteous than you, that I actually follow the Most High. And that's crazy too, is how they try to flip what is good to be bad and what is bad to be good. You understand? Just to try to offend you and also to keep you in sin in the first place. You understand? Versus you on the left hand side, you all these wicked ass labels. You're a whore. You're a slut. You're a murderer. You're a thief. You cannot be trusted. And even the people who are getting caught up in those wicked things, even they know in the midst of them doing it, being a homosexual, being a thief, being whatever, they know that the label is bad, but still continue to do it. But then when you become righteous, you come in this truth and you serve the one and only master that should be served in the first place, the Most High God. It's a bad thing that you do it. And to top that off, I got to accept you for being a homosexual and a transgender and this, that, and the other. But you can't just accept the fact that I don't associate with, you homosexuals. I don't associate with, with all of that because my God, the Most High God said not to, and that's a problem. I got to accept you, but you can't even accept me for what I believe, what I practice, what I do. But you know what I'm saying? Y'all see how just like messed up and twisted all of that is? You understand? What does the Most High God say? Just paraphrasing it, that he is not the author of confusion. Man, y'all better pay attention to these little things. Pay attention to them little things when people are sitting there talking about, the gender spectrum and all that. Why is it that even the people that identify within that gender spectrum, I was watching that Dr. Phil, that Dr. Phil special with the transgender. It was a dude who is now a woman, and then his girlfriend is a woman who is now a man. Like ridiculous, but they basically were supposed to have. I thought it was going to be a debate between them and then this one dude that was like super, this devil that was super against the the whole like identifying, changing the pronouns, I guess it was called, or whatever. I thought it was going to be a debate and slick. That's why I wanted to watch it in the first place. So I remember somebody had posted it on Facebook, like a little snippet, and like the devil went in and said some real shit. You know what I'm saying? So why should I call you by what you want to identify yourself as, which makes no sense when I can't say that my pronouns are brilliant and handsome. So anytime that you refer to me, it has to be as brilliant and handsome. You can't pick that. Just like how you can't pick to be called a he, her, and she, and whatnot. But anyways, back to the point before I get to my scripture. The dude said, even though that he identifies with what's on the spectrum, not everybody actually understands all the other spectrum signs and this, that, and the other in the callings, because there was like a Z, it was like XI was Z, and then there was a Z with ZE. Said the same, but apparently that's two different genders. And he was saying, it's even confusing to us, but you're supposed to just ask this, that, and the other. Why I gotta ask to clarify that kind of confusion? Why? Man, y'all some devils. You understand? Y'all some doggone devils. That's all that come down to. Y'all wicked, you're devils, you're retarded. All right, so we're going to drop that, go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 66. We're going to start at verse 1. You understand? The book of Isaiah, chapter 66, and verse 1 says, "Thus saith the Lord," as the Lord said, "the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? Now, this is the Most High. He's asking a question. And where is this house? You understand? My throne is the heavens. So basically, not heaven, the place you go to when you die. You understand? It's up above. Basically, you can say, on the other side of the firmament, on the other side of our atmosphere, up in space, basically. You understand? Because mind you as well, he is in a different dimension. You understand? It says, and the earth is my footstool. So this also lets you know that the Most High is so doggone big that the earth is his footstool. Have you ever tried to live in a footstool? You can't, man. You basically just rest your feet because the footstool is too small for you to live in. That's part of the question now. You hear me? Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? So he's like, okay, this is where I rest my feet. And you claiming that this is the place where I rest? This is the place of where, I live that you build for me? It don't make no sense. He's questioning you, Christians, talking about this is the house of God. Man, well, God just questioned you. How stupid do you look and sound by trying to say that this is my house when in turn, and that's just a synagogue of Satan. You understand? Read it on. Verse 2. For all those things hath mine hand made, and all those things have and all those things have been, saith the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. Man, he basically just said right there, hey, shalom with Christ, young man, John. It's good to see you. So right here, he's letting you know, man, I made all of this. You understand? And it's not even the first time that these things have even been made in the first place. You understand? Because what is Ecclesiastes? What is it? 1 and 9. It was either 1 and 9 or 1 and 10. Yeah, no, there's no new thing under the sun. You understand? What hath been will be, and what hath been done will be done. You understand? Just paraphrasing it, but reading on. Verse 3. He that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrificeth a lamb as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offereth an oblation as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighteth in their abominations. Now, everything that we just read was an abomination to the Most High God. You understand? And mind you as well, these are also things that the other nations do for their gods, right? Like, for example, he that killeth an ox as if he slew a man. When you killed an ox, like you murdered the ox pointlessly. You killed it for no doggone reason, right? He that sacrificeth a lamb as if he cut off a dog's neck. There's a certain way that you're supposed to cut the lamb's neck when you are going to sacrifice the lamb. Because mind you, you're going to eat that lamb, right? So you don't want that adrenaline to pump through that lamb's bloodstream, because then it gets in the meat and it actually makes the meat, it spoils it and whatnot, right? But if you're just going out there just cutting his neck like as if it was a dog, like, because at the end of the day, you ain't gonna eat no dog. It's unlawful. And if you got to put a dog down, you're just gonna do what you got to do and just that be that, right? He that offereth an oblation, which I may not be able to pronounce the word, but I do know what it means. It's basically an offering. You understand? It's a sacrifice, basically like the lamb. You understand? As if offered swine's blood. You're offering swine's blood on an altar, on a holy altar. Swine's blood. Swine it's an abomination to the Most High God. You understand? We're not to touch it at all. Well, I'm not going to say at all. Once it gives up its life, You're not to touch a pig at all. You understand? That's first of all, that's how disgusting they are. And secondly, but most importantly, the Most High God told you not to do it. You understand? He that burneth incense as if he blessed an idol. You burn incense as if you raised up an idol. You raised up some statue of, I don't know, Michael Vick or Buddha, and you burn it in incense to it. You understand? They have chosen their own ways. Their own ways, meaning the ways of man. These are not the ways that the Most High God had told us to serve. These are the ways that mankind had created for themselves. And quite frankly, a lot of that is from the other nations. These are the things that the other nations do. You understand? And their soul delighteth in their abominations. Man, your soul delighteth in the fact that you doing things to pleasure your flesh. Your soul delighteth in you partaking in worshiping Buddha or worshiping one of them, the nasty ass plate wearing African guys that have absolutely no power. You understand? You take delight in that Rastafarianism BS. You understand? Which is actually the custom of the East Indians. You understand? These are the customs of the other nations. You delight in an abominations, right? Now, verse 4. I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. So what he's saying, what the Most High just said right there, is that he will choose their delusions. So if, how should we put it? How do I explain that? So if you're afraid that something is going to happen, within the culture that you decide to partake in that has nothing to do with you, that you're not supposed to be a part of, right? You believe that when something goes wrong, this is how it's going to play out. The Most High is going to play, he said, he's going to play into your delusion and he's going to give you your fear. So that thing that you're afraid of, he's going to bring it into your life. In other words, he's going to keep you destroyed because you are choosing to do this. Choosing and you're choosing to do it because what did we just read? And their soul delighteth in their abominations. You are happy about the things that you are doing. And like I've been saying since the beginning of the class, there are consequences for being on the left-hand side and for being on the right-hand side. You understand? This right here is really going in on the consequences for the left-hand side, right? I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. But they did evil before mine eyes, and I chose that in which I But they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delighted not. So since at the time that the Most High, when the Most High is reaching out to you, right? Which is if you received, a link, if you received a notification that brought you into this class, you understand? That's the Most High God. That's the Most High reaching out to you. That is your opportunity to, to take, do some self-reflection. Okay, what am I doing wrong? Let me learn some more so that I can learn what I need to scrub out of, out of my life, right? Because that's what it says. Because when I called, none did answer. So when you are being given that opportunity to get cleaned up, to have a better, to actually serve a God that is alive, that does have power, that is real, you are deciding not to answer. You're deciding not to answer that call, right? When I spake, they did not hear. So when the Most High sends his prophets out and we are telling y'all, yo, this is what the Lord says. This is what the Lord said to do. This is what he said not to do. This is what he said about, laying down with them stinking ass Africans. This is what he said about, how you're supposed to treat your, your own people. This is what he said about marijuana. This is what he said about smoke. This, you know what I'm saying? When the prophets come out and of course, prophesy, right? They did not hear. Y'all don't want to listen to it. Y'all don't want to hear what, y'all don't want to hear it because y'all are taking too much, not pride, not comfort, too much. Y'all are getting too much pleasure out of the abominable things that you are doing. For the brothers sleeping with them doggone Asian women, with them doggone white women. You understand? I mean, interracial marriages, period. You understand? You taking way too much pleasure in doing that. And that's not even just for the brothers, because the sisters are doing that too. They laying down with these doggone white men. What's her name? Is it Serena Williams that married that devil and had a baby with him? After all all that stuff that they father went through, and also shared them stories with his girls, they repay him with still marrying a white man. That is the same thing. And as to why God is even wrath with us in the first place. It's the same thing with us being delivered out of Egypt. The Most High God destroying them stinking ass Africans in Egypt, bringing us out of it, and then we choose to still have marriages with them. It's the same exact thing, because we are not to do that. You understand? But they did evil before mine eyes and chose that in which I delighted not. The interracial marriage, the doggone, smoking weed, just anything that goes against the Most High God and his commandments. Y'all choosing to do them and taking delight in it, and he is not, man. Hey, this is why so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are destroyed today. You understand? That is why we are not in the seat of power like we are supposed to. You understand? We are supposed to be the rulers of this earth, the judges of this earth. Not some wicked ass, devil, some wicked white man that, loves homosexuality, that loves pedophilia, that, loves confusion, is a doggone liar. He's a murderer. He's a thief. I mean, let's be honest. What culture does he have? Everything that he has is borrowed from something else. The only culture he has is war. Right? I mean, in Genesis, it says that he will be blessed with the sword. I mean, he sure as hell is blessed with the sword. That's the only thing he knows. That's the only thing he does. Is bloodshed. You understand? All right. We're going to drop that. And we're going to go to the book of Psalms, chapter 35 and verse 6. The book of Psalms, chapter 35 and verse 6. And I'm going to say it again. I mean, we were a little bit short on time. Actually, I think I'm going to go over a little bit past 9, just so we can still get to 2 hours. I might be able to finish this. We'll see how much I sidetrack with our, those side notes. So lucky. For those of y'all, if y'all have any questions, whether it's on the topic, off the topic, feel free to post it in the chat. You understand? Do not be afraid to ask any questions if you have any questions. You understand? Again, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 35, verse 6. Let their way be dark and slippery, and let the angel of the Lord persecute them. You understand? So that was verse 6. We're gonna get some context of the who the them is. And you know how you get context in the Bible? I'm gonna let y'all know on a little cheat code secret for to actually understand what if you're not sure what the subject is of a chapter, man, go up either a couple verses, Go down a couple verses or just go to the first freaking verse of the chapter. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to verse 1. So Psalms chapter 35 and verse 1. Plead my cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me. Fight against them that fight against me. You understand? This is David talking about the other nations that are fighting against him. Actually, not even just the other nations, because he also did fight against the Israelites. You understand? The Ephraimites and whatnot to unify Israel. So it's actually anybody that is of the cut that holds on to the customs of the heathens. You understand? That's what David is praying for. That's what he's pleading with the Most High right here. You understand? So you have to understand that, let's say, for example, you are a diehard patriot and just love your country, you love America, this, that, and the other, you would die for it. Love it so much, die for it so much, you sign up so that you can die for it. Well, I'll have you know that we will, I gotta be delicate with my words on this one. As long as you stay aligned with America, we will be praying for your death. Understand what I'm saying right there. As long as you align yourself with the enemy, you are our enemy. You understand? When you align yourself with the other nations who hate and despise and are just disgusted with so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you want to be like them, fight with and for them to the point where you would kill your own. A prime example. Let us never forget that our people are locked up our people being locked up in the cages at the border. Well, you think that all of the border patrol there are white folk? Are Asians? Man, there are Hispanic, so-called Hispanics, so-called Mexicans down at that border partaking in, just the disgusting things that they're doing down at the border and to the people in the cages, raping and molesting them, giving them no hygiene and whatnot. They partaking in all that. And whether they are physically their own hand doing it, they're still just as guilty, because what are they doing to stop it when they're seeing it and they know it's happening? You are just as guilty. You are a partaker on the atrocities against our people that is happening in those cages. You understand? All right, we're gonna drop that one. We're gonna go to the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 20. Book of John, chapter 15, verse 20. But I pray that y'all understand, like I've been saying, since the beginning of class, there's a consequence no matter what. Every small action that you make, there is a form of a consequence. There is a consequence for every little thing and, of course, big thing that you do. You understand? This is the book of John, chapter 15 and verse 20, written in red, which means this is Jesus Christ in the English, or in the Hebrew, his actual name, our King, Yahweh Shai Mashiach. You understand? This is the book of John, chapter 15, verse 20. Remember the word that I said unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. So this is Christ, you understand, saying, remember the word that I said unto you. Man, remember the things that Christ, that Yahushua has taught us. You understand that he taught the 12 apostles, and that continued on. You understand that he taught Paul, Peter, and all of them, and that we still learn from and teach today. You understand? The servant is not greater than his Lord. You understand? The servant is not greater than his Lord, right? Pretty self-explanatory. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. So he's letting you know, he's like, man, y'all ain't greater than me. So understand that we are not greater than Yahushua Mashiach. So if they persecute Yahushua, they're going to persecute you as well, because you are keeping his word. You are doing, like you are remembering what he has said unto us, what he said to us, what to do and what not to do, how to act and how not to act. You understand? To still be about our people, the Israelites, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You understand? If they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also. So that's Christ is saying right there, if they have kept my saying, so if anyone else has kept his saying, they're going to keep ours also, because we are, first of all, we're supposed to be on one accord with Yahushua in the first place. Right? So if they're keeping his word, they keeping our word. And it's full circle. You understand? All right, we're going to drop that. We do just got a couple more verses. I know we're getting a little close to the time. We're going to drop that, go to the book of John, chapter 6 and verse 63. All right. Again, this is written in red, which means that Jesus Christ, or Yahushua Mashiach, our King in the Hebrew, is speaking. It is the spirit that quickeneth. The flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. You understand? So Christ is letting you know, man, he's not saying anything to profit his flesh, because his flesh can't profit anything. We all know that our flesh in time is just going to wither away, but your spirit, man, is forever. If you were so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American. I mean, if you're a so-called white man, you know, after you do your, what is it? I think it's 1,000 years of slavery, of repayment. They killed off. They done for it. No more. You understand? And righteously so, because that would be justice for all of the terrible things that they have done to us. You understand? And of course, you wouldn't want a lying spirit to dwell on the earth anyways, because once it builds itself back up, it's going to get right back on it. You understand? But it says it is the spirit that quickeneth. It is the spirit that's apt, that wants to act. You understand? The flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life. Your spirit is what is quick to act for life, to live. You understand? But your flesh, man, the flesh it just wants things that's not going to get you nowhere. You understand? It's like when you crave a cheeseburger. What is that going to do? It's going to make you fatter, which is my problem. But you understand? All right. Drop that. I'm going to go to the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 11. Matthew, chapter 5, verse 11. Again, this is Christ speaking. The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revel you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Now, this is you, of course, choosing to follow after the Most High, to follow after Christ. You understand? Because mind you as well, Christ just said right now, blessed are ye when men shall revel you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Man, again, you're gonna be called a cultist, and oh, you think I'm righteous, more righteous than now, and you fake and you change and you different. They're gonna say all types of things about you because you ain't trying to smoke weed no more. You ain't trying to be a whore no more. You ain't trying to sell drugs no more. You ain't trying to, get no type of lick. No, you're not that worldly person anymore. You understand? And of course, but you also speaking against the atrocities that they are partaking in, where they're still partaking in interracial marriages, where they're still getting high, where they're still just sleeping with everybody, being a homosexual. You understand? You speaking against all that, but you blessed because you're going to be because of the fact that they will persecute you. But mind you, there will be a reward for all of that as long as you endure and stay the course until the end. You understand? Drop that. We're going to go to the book of Matthew, chapter 10, and verse 22. Yeah, that's what it says. 10 and 22. The book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 22. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endured to the end shall be saved. Just like what I just said from what we just read from, Matthew 5 and 11. You blessed because you are making that decision to follow after Christ no matter what is coming your way. You understand? No matter what is coming your way, you keeping your eyes on the goal. You understand? And of course, and you doing that in the name of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, the name of our King. You understand? But he that endured to the end shall be saved. So you got to make sure that you just stay on it until Christ returns. You understand? You just stay on it until Christ returns. And there will be a reward for that. Your works, you staying on the right-hand side of the Most High will be rewarded. It will not go in vain. You understand? We'll drop that. Go to verse 34. Book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Man, this is Christ right here letting you know, bro. Like when he comes, when he was here and when he returns, he's never been here. His intentions has never been to kumbaya with the Africans, to kumbaya with the Asians, to kumbaya with the white man, to kumbaya with the Arab or the East Indian. You understand? That has never been his intention whatsoever. You understand? He is here to create division, to separate his people from just everybody else. There's just two groups that he's making. It's my people and everybody else. And if you on his people's side, which means that you are doing the will of the Lord, not just because just being an Israelite does not qualify you as being one, someone of Christ. You got to put some work in too. You have to be doing the will of the Lord. You understand? You on that side, those are the people who qualify, then everybody else. And everybody else is getting the sword. Christ is bringing the sword to the back of your neck. Just to watch your head tumble down the stairs. You understand? Mind you, it says, I came not to send peace, but a sword. Man, Christ coming. When Christ comes, first of all, we'll be in the middle of a war. But he's coming to end the war, not to bring peace. For the sake of that, because mind you, we'll still be basically keeping on going because of the fact that we got people to put it in slavery. We got people that we got to put to work to build our kingdom. You understand? And then we're gonna close it out with this. All right, so now this is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 20. The book of Second Ezra, chapter 2, verse 44. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? Verse 45. He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal. And have confessed the name of God. And now are they crowned and receive palms. So this is Esdras, talking with the angel. You understand? Asking what's going on in this vision. And in that vision, you understand, the angel's talking about there are going to be people who take off their mortal clothing, which is people who are in the world and that will put on the immortal clothing. Your immortal clothing is putting on your garments of the Lord. You understand? For the men, you know what I'm saying? We got our fringes, we got our war bands. You understand? Hell, call it UPK'd out. You understand? With your clothes. You understand? Sisters, you got your head wrapped, you in a dress, you in modest apparel, right? And mind you, it's not just the clothing though. The immortal and mortal clothing is actually what you do. All right. It's part, I said I started off with the actual clothing that you wear, but it's also what you cover yourself with, the actions you cover yourself with. Because someone will look at you and be like, you know what? Nah, man, we ain't gonna mess. We ain't gonna try to offer him no pork because he don't ever eat pork. You understand? We ain't gonna, we ain't even gonna try to ask him if he want to buy a dime bag because I know he don't. I know them cats. I know them UPK cats. They don't mess with this stuff. In fact, they always try to tell me to stop selling this. You know what I'm saying? It's something that immortal clothing can be seen from the actions that you partake in. You understand? You cover yourself with actions, right? And have confessed the name of God. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Verse 46. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them and giveth them palms in their hands? Now, Ezra is asking, he's like, wait, hold on. Who is this that's crowning them? Who is this that's doing this, though? Verse 47. So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. So this is Christ. Now the angel is telling him, yo, that is Christ. That's Yahushua Mashiach, the Son of the Most High God. You understand? He's crowning them, right? Then began I greatly commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. He started to commend them that endured until the end. You understand? Verse 48. Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way and tell my people what manner of things and how great wonders of the Lord thy God thou hast seen. Now, I want y'all to understand this with everything that we had just read, went over tonight, that we went over today in this class. You understand? These are still wonders. You understand? These are considered great things that have been revealed unto you. You understand? I just carried out that order that was given to Esdras. You understand? To you. You understand? This is what we are asked of the Most High God, is to be obedient to his word. When we receive an order, when we receive a command, we are to carry it out to the fullness, to the fullest extent. Like it. You understand? Because you know what? At the end of the day, if you half-ass it, you're gonna end up on the left-hand side. The only way that you can be on the right-hand side is if you put your whole mind, body, and soul into serving the Lord. You understand? And quite frankly, the Most High doesn't deserve anything less. I mean, you wouldn't have a mind, body, or a soul if it wasn't for him in the first place. You understand? You not knowing before that, smoking weed and interracial marriages, this, that, and the other was against the Lord, and just against the Lord, and then turn him to wrath, man. Technically, you're not even to be blamed at the moment. You're not even to be blamed at the moment. What you need to learn to blame is who should be blamed, which is the so-called white man, our oppressors. It's not even just the white man, but right now he's the main culprit. Is the so-called white man. You understand? But all the other nations are confederate together against us. You understand? And that's why it's important for us to tear away and break away from the so-called Africans, the so-called white man, the so-called Arab, so-called East Indian, the so-called Chinese, Korean, Vietnamese, Filipino, what have you. If they're not so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, if they are not Israelites, man, I'm not saying not to talk to them. I'm not saying that you can't say hello, or you know what I'm saying, but to actually sit down, break bread with them, and try to, be buddy. And of course, you already know, we went through it numerous times, having interracial marriage with them, man, you taking things way too far. Way too far. And you need to remember that so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans need that love, time, and compassion that you're trying to give the other nations. We need that. Our people need that. Because those are some of the biggest things that are lacking, that our people are lacking. You understand? I pray that y'all understand what we went over. Again, we are the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You understand? I'm precinct officer at 50. And with that, class dismissed.